Hello everyone, this is Glenda and welcome back to Creative Grandma. Are you ready to have some crochet fun? I have a new block and this block is called the Victorian Treasure Block. It's pattern number 600 and it may look a little familiar to you because about a year ago I fell in love with that little rosebud stitch, this little stitch here where it looks a little better on this one with that little V stitch and then you have that little puff in the middle to make that little floral stitch. You see it in so many designs and it's just a wonderful little stitch that adds just a wonderful little accent to some of the things you're crocheting. Now I made this a year ago in a smaller, more simple type of block. Now I don't have the block but I have the photo. So here's the block so you can compare them. Let me grab this one. So this looks a little okay, but kind of plain. And I thought, what can you do to kind of change this block up? So I thought I'm going to add some V-stitches for some Victorian lacy type look. And then I'm going to try to add some alternating stitches and just give a really nice pop to that block. So it just shows you that when you're working on an Afghan, there's so many things that you can do in order to just make a little change here or there and make that Afghan really pop for yourself. With this pattern here, let me go over my samples. These are all made with Red Heart Super Saver yarn. I've used Red Heart Super Saver yarn for, oh my lord, 40, 50 years and it's just wonderful yarn. It has held up amazingly well for some of my Afghans that I made 30 years ago. I still have them and they hold up extremely well. So I am super happy with Red Heart Super Saver yarn. I use it in a lot of my samples, a lot of my work, but I do try to use all different types of yarn. Now for this pattern here, we used a 4 medium weight yarn and these colors in this block are white, frosty green, and light raspberry. These blocks are 7 3/4 inches wide by 7 3/4 inches high. I used a size H8 5mm hook to crochet this pattern. So this is my first sample, just a lovely little Victorian. This is the first one I made because I love the pinks and greens because my bedroom is decorated in Victorian and I love the style and I just wanted something new for in there to, you know, like a bed coverlet, and I just love this pattern, so this is what I created for myself. And then I was thinking, okay, sometimes you can take a pattern. Now this one looks like a little flower, but I kind of wanted it to look a little geometrical. So that's when I decided to use the black, white, and gray heather. So these again are Super Saver colors, white, gray heather, and black. And I was trying for more of a geometrical look than a floral look because sometimes when you want to design something for a man or you just love contemporary with that stark contrasting colors of black and white, you have trouble finding just the right pattern. And I thought, can you imagine this block being connected to more of these blocks? Now I don't have another black and white one, but just imagine when you're putting these black and white, like the zebra geometrical effect this would create. I think it would be wonderful. So that's my second sample. And then I absolutely love the blues. Now these two blocks I made with 3 color combinations. And I was going to make all the samples in 3 color combinations. And I thought, you know, I love blue, but I wanted more transition from light to dark, which I needed an extra color to do that. So with this block here, I used 4 colors. I used 3 blue and then I added the white in between. Now my instructions are written for a 3 color combination, but you can do whatever you want with this block. You can get so creative. You would be amazed at how many different looks you can get with just one pattern. Now this block here, this is light blue, this is light periwinkle, this is royal blue, and then you have your white. So that created this look, and you can see how pretty it is when the blues come out with the light, the medium, and the dark. Just an amazing, really nice look when you add that 4th color. But it's all up to you. The other thing is, if you don't like to change color and you think, changing color in every stitch all the way around the block. Well, thank goodness they're kind of small blocks. If you were doing an Afghan, I'd have my yarn so tangled I wouldn't know what to do, but this ain't too bad. But you could always find a variegated yarn and, you know, kind of like cheat a little, and instead of using and changing colors, find a variegated with the same colors, and it would change it to a degree, and you might like the look of that. So that's something to consider if you have a sample. Make a sample block before you spend the money on a bunch of yarn to make a blanket, though. That's always best than to waste your money on a lot of yarn and then you make it and you don't like it. Now the other option is you can make this a solid color. Now you could have made this solid dark royal blue instead of changing the colors, so it's all up to you. So make sure if you make one of these blocks, if you're following along and you make this block, get on our Facebook page. If you're not a member, go ahead and go over and request to join. And if you make the block, take a picture and let me see what you're doing. I would love to see how creative my subscribers are. You're all so talented and I just love seeing your work. You send me pictures, and sometimes I'll take a design and you'll send me a picture and it looks better than mine. You pick beautiful colors, you just do amazing work, and it's really lovely to see those designs come to life through your eyes, and I do appreciate that when you do that for me and send me those photos. And my other members and subscribers enjoy it as well because they're seeing what they could do with a pattern. So do that if you have time and you wish to do so. So we're going to go ahead and have some fun and get started on this block. So I'll be right back and we'll get started. So I have my yarn attached to my hook and I just used a double knot. And I do have to say I'm so sorry for the background noise. I live right beside a highway and it's rather loud today, so please forgive me for that road. I just cannot do anything about that background noise. Okay, so let's start our pattern. We're going to start with a chain 4, yarn over, pull through that loop. That's your first chain. This loop on your hook here does not count as a chain. Yarn over, pull through, that's 2. Yarn over, pull through, that's 3. Yarn over, pull through, that's 4. We're going to go ahead and skip these first 3 chain. We're going to insert our hook into that last chain from hook, and we're going to slip stitch. Yarn over the hook, pull through that chain, and pull through the loop on your hook. And it's really nice when you have fingernails because you can just pull that right apart. It's a tiny ring and we're going to be working right in the center of that ring. Once you do your first single crochet into that ring, it's going to open it right up for you. We're going to start round 1 with a chain 1, yarn over the hook, and pull it through that loop. We're going to do our repeat, and our repeat starts immediately. We're going to single crochet into the center of the ring, and we're going to chain 2, and we're going to do that 8 times. So insert your hook right into the center of your chain 4 ring, yarn over the hook, pull it back through that ring. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You just made your single crochet. You're going to chain 2. 1, 2. We need to do that 7 more times. Insert your hook into the center of that ring, yarn over the hook, pull it back through that ring, yarn over the hook and pull it through 2 loops. You just made your single crochet. You're going to chain 2. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. You chain 2. I'll show you one more time and then you can finish round 1. Insert your hook, this is the start of the repeat, insert your hook into the center of that ring, yarn over the hook, pull it back through that ring, you have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, you worked a single crochet. You're going to chain 2, yarn over, pull through, that's 1, yarn over, pull through, that's 2, and that's the end of the repeat. We did 3 repeats, we need to do 8, so go ahead and repeat 1 single crochet in the ring, chain 2 5 more times, and I'll meet you at the end of round 1. I'm over at the end of round 1 and you should have 8 single crochet and 8 chain 2 spaces around, and you should have ended with a chain 2. So to join this round, we're just going to go up into the top of that beginning single crochet and slip stitch. Yarn over the hook, pull it through that first single crochet and through the loop on your hook. Now for this video, I'm just going to fasten off and leave my ends hang. They will be weaved in when the block is finished, just so for video purposes, so the video isn't, 6 hours long. I don't weave my ends in when I'm doing a video. So now I'm going to grab my frosty green and I'll be right back and we'll get round 2 started. So I'm getting ready to start round 2, and you can join your yarn in any of the chain 2 spaces. I just go into the first chain 2 space and then I just work my yarn over these ends. So I'm going to leave about a 3 or 4 inch length because I rather have too much yarn where you can go back and use your yarn needle and weave it in and have a better control of weaving those stitches in the back. If you cut it too short, it's just a real pain to try to get them weaved in. So leave it longer and then just trim it when you're done. So we're going to start, and I'm just going to pull my new color through, and we're going to start with a chain 1. Now for this round, we're going to do a 2 half double crochet cluster. Now we're going to be working clusters in this design, and some will have 2 half double crochet and some will have 3 half double crochet. So for this round, we're only using 2 half double crochets. So we chained 1 to start the round. Now we're going to work our 2 half double crochet cluster. Now that just means there's 2 half double crochet in it, not that there's 2 clusters. So yarn over the hook, we're going to insert it into that chain 2 space, yarn over the hook and pull it back up. We're going to keep all those loops on the hook. You have 3 loops. Yarn over the hook, insert it back into that same chain 2 space, yarn over the hook and bring it back through your chain 2 space. You now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 5 loops on your hook. That's your 2 half double crochet cluster. Now we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. We're going to work another 2 half double crochet cluster. Just pull that first cluster over and we're going to make the second one right beside it. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same chain 2 space, yarn over the hook, pull it back through that space and keep all loops on your hook. You have 3 loops. Yarn over the hook, insert back into that chain 2 space, yarn over the hook, bring it back through that chain 2 space, and you have 5 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 5 loops on your hook. I'm caught somewhere. Okay. There we go. So that is our first, what I call a cluster shell, but that's how you make the half double crochet cluster. And we're going to do this in each chain 2 space around. So I'm going to do it 2 more times. I'm going to walk you right through it step by step. I'm just going to leave these hang over to the side. So let's begin. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that next chain 2 space, yarn over the hook, pull it back through. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over the hook, insert it back into that same chain 2 space, yarn over the hook, pull it back through that space. You have 5 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 5 loops on your hook. You're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to go ahead and make that cluster stitch again. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same space, that same chain 2 space, yarn over, bring it back through that space. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over the hook, insert back into that same chain 2 space, yarn over the hook, bring it back through that space. You now have 5 loops on your hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yarn over the hook and pull it through all 5 loops on your hook. You just made your cluster shell. I'll show you one more time. It's very easy once you do 1 or 2 of them. Yarn over, insert into that next chain 2 space, yarn over, pull it back through that space. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, insert back into that chain 2 space, yarn over the hook, pull it back through that space. You have 5 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 5 loops on your hook. You're going to chain 2. 1, 2. We're going to make that cluster stitch again in the same chain 2 space. Yarn over the hook, insert into that chain 2 space, yarn over, pull back through that space. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, insert into that same chain 2 space, yarn over, pull it back through that space. You have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 5 loops. So if you need additional help, just click back on the video and just watch it until you work yourself around your round 2. So go ahead and repeat a 2 half double crochet cluster, a chain 2, and your 2 half double crochet cluster in each chain 2 around, and I'll meet you at the end of round 2. I'm over at the end of round 2, and you'll see we have 1 cluster, chain 2, 1 cluster in each chain 2 space around. We're getting ready to join. So what we're going to do is we're going to go clear over to the left side of this cluster, and you'll see, I'm just going to pull this apart, you'll see this stitch right here. See that little hole right there? We're going to go into that space. So insert your hook on the left side of that stitch, yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. You just slip stitched around 2 together. I'm going to go ahead and fasten off, leave my ends hang. I'll grab my pink, well, my light raspberry, and I'll be right back to start round 3. So I have my light raspberry, which is a beautiful pink shade, and we're going to start in any chain 1 space. Now I just choose to start here where I fastened off in that first chain 1 space. And again, leave about a 3 or 4 inch length, and then just pull that new color through, and we're going to chain 1. Now for this round, we're going to work a 3 half double crochet cluster. So all we're doing is adding that extra half double crochet into our cluster. So we're going to begin, and our repeat will be a 3 half double crochet cluster, which is just 1 cluster stitch in the chain 2 space, and then we're going to chain 3, and we're going to do that in each chain 2 space around. So let's begin. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same beginning chain 2 space, yarn over the hook, pull it back through that chain 2 space. You have 3 loops on your hook. That's your first part of your stitch. Yarn over the hook, insert back into that chain 2 space, yarn over the hook, bring it back through. That's your second stitch, and now we need to do the third. Yarn over the hook, insert back into that chain 2 space, yarn over the hook, and bring it back through. So you should have a total of 2. Let me spread these out so you can see them. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 7 loops on your hook. You're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. That's the end of the repeat. So I'll do it 2 more times. We're going to repeat our cluster into this next chain 2 space, and we're only working in the chain 2 spaces. Yarn over the hook, insert into that next chain 2 space of that next shell stitch, yarn over the hook, pull it back through. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over the hook, insert it back into that chain 2 space, yarn over the hook, and pull it back through. You now have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, insert back into that same chain 2 space, yarn over, pull it back through. You have a total of 7 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 7 loops. You're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That's the end of your repeat, and you can kind of see how your little stems are forming, and there's your little rosebud. So let's continue. I'll show you one more time. Yarn over the hook, you're going to go into your next chain 2 space of that next shell. Yarn over the hook, pull it back through. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over the hook, insert back into that chain 2 space. Yarn over the hook, pull it back through. You now have 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over the hook, insert back into that chain 2 space. Yarn over the hook, pull it back through. You now have 7 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 7 loops. You're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's the end of the repeat. Repeat that around to the end of round 3, and I'll meet you at the end of round 3 and show you how to join. I'm over at the end of round 3, and this is what your work should look like. You should have a cluster, chain 3, cluster, chain 3, and have that worked around your round 3. You should end with a chain 3, and we're just going to go back up into the top left side of this cluster stitch. You can see it a little better here, and we're going to insert into this space and slip stitch. Yarn over the hook, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. Now you can see mine's bowing up a little, like a little bowl, and that should straighten itself out when we do the next round. So if yours bows up like that, that's normal. Your other stitches will kind of put that back in place. So we're just going to fasten off. I'm going to grab my white, and I'll be right back, and we'll get round 4 started. So I have my white, and I leave about a 3 or 4 inch length, and we're going to go right up to where we slip stitched. We're going to go right back. If you see that little hole right there, we're going to insert our hook into that hole, and we're going to pull our white through. We're going to start in chain 1. We're going to single crochet into the top of the same beginning cluster. So insert your hook back in that same spot, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2. You just made your beginning single crochet. We're going to double crochet, chain 1, double crochet 2 rounds below. So we're going to jump down 1, 2 rounds, and we're going to insert our stitches right between this current cluster shell and this next cluster shell. So yarn over the hook, drop down 2 rounds, 1, 2, and come right down in the center of this current shell and this next shell. Insert your hook from front to back, let it go all the way to the back. Yarn over, pull back through that space, pull up a little, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You just made your double crochet. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to work a double crochet into the same space 2 rounds below. Yarn over the hook, drop down 1, 2, go into that same space between those 2 shells where you just worked your first double crochet. Yarn over, pull through, pull up a little, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You just made your double crochet, chain 1, double crochet 2 rows below, right between this current shell and that next shell. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start our repeat. So our repeat will be, you're going to jump over here, you're going to go right into the top of this cluster, and you're going to look for this stitch right here where you see that little tiny triangle on the left side. Insert your hook into that space and work a single crochet. We're going to double crochet, chain 1, double crochet 2 rounds below between the current cluster and the next cluster. So yarn over the hook, drop down 2 rounds, 1, 2, insert right in the center of those 2 clusters, and work a double crochet. Pull up on that a little on that first loop and work that double crochet. You're going to chain 1, yarn over the hook, go back down 2 rounds below, right in that same space between those 2 clusters, yarn over the hook, pull it back through, pull up just a little to give you a little height, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. So that was the end of the repeat. I'll show you one more time. So this is the beginning of the repeat. You're going to go over to the top of this cluster, and it's on the left side. You're going to look, just pull that if you have to, and you'll see this little triangle space here. You're going to insert your hook right into that triangle space, yarn over the hook, pull it through, yarn over and pull through two. That's your single crochet. Now we're going to work our double crochet, chain one, double crochet, 2 rounds below between those 2 cluster stitches. So yarn over, drop down 1, 2 rounds, insert between this current cluster and the next cluster, yarn over, pull back through that space, pull up just a little, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You're going to chain 1. Yarn over, drop down in 2 rounds below, 1, 2 in that space between those clusters, yarn over, pull through, pull up a little, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's all there is to round 4. So go ahead and repeat 1 single crochet in that top left little triangle space on the top of that cluster stitch, and then you're going to work your double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, 2 rounds below between those 2 cluster stitches. So go ahead and repeat that around, and I will meet you at the end of round 4. So I'm over at the end of round 4, and this is what your work should look like. 1 single crochet in the top of the cluster, and then a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, 2 rounds below between that current cluster and the next cluster, and you should have repeated that around. This is what it should look like, and you can see it's laying flat now, that these stitches pulled that block down and your work should be flat. Let's go ahead and join. We're just going to go over into the top of this beginning single crochet and slip stitch. Yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. So round 4 is complete, and we'll get ready to start round 5. And we're going to go ahead and begin, and we're going to start with a chain 4. So yarn over the hook, pull through, that's 1, yarn over, pull through, that's 2, yarn over, pull through, that's 3, yarn over, pull through, that's 4. Now your beginning chain 4 counts, the first 3 counts as that double crochet, that 4th chain kind of bends and counts as your chain 1, and then we're going to work another double crochet in that same beginning single crochet. So yarn over, insert into that same beginning single crochet, yarn over, pull it through that stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You just made your double crochet and your first V-stitch. Now we're going to jump over to the chain 1 space of this next V-stitch, and we're going to work a double crochet V-stitch. Yarn over the hook, insert into that chain 1 space, and work a double crochet. You're going to chain 1, yarn over the hook, insert into that same chain 1 space, and work a double crochet. Okay. Now we're going to work another double crochet V-stitch, and we're going to work it into this next single crochet. So yarn over the hook, insert into that next single crochet, and work a double crochet. You're going to chain 1. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same beginning single crochet, and work a double crochet. Your 3 double crochet V-stitches have been made, 1 in that beginning single crochet, 1 in the chain 1 space of that next V-stitch, and 1 in that next single crochet. So that's what your work should look like. So now we're getting ready to work our corner, and we're going to work a triple V-stitch, a chain 2, and a triple V-stitch all in this next chain 1 space. So yarn over the hook twice. You're going to insert into that next chain 1 space of this next V-stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull it back through that space. You have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You just made your first triple crochet. You're going to chain 1, and we're going to work another triple into this same space. Yarn over the hook twice, insert into that space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, and pull through two. You just made your first triple crochet V-stitch. Now we're going to chain two to form our corner. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through. Our corner is made. So now we're going to work another triple V-stitch in the same space that we just worked. So yarn over the hook twice, insert into that same chain one space, yarn over, pull back through. You have 4 loops, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, and pull through two. You're going to chain one, and we need to make one more triple crochet all in the same space. Yarn over the hook twice, insert into that same space, yarn over, pull back through that space, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, and yarn over and pull through two. And that is the end of the repeat. So I'm just going to put my hand behind there so you can see it a little bit better since it's white on white. So we're going to start the repeat one more time. Now this one had the beginning chain 4, so the next start of the repeat you'll do the double crochet chain 1 instead of the chain 4. So if you need help to finish going around the 3 sides, click back to the video to this point here where we start the repeat. So we're going to go ahead and start the repeat, and we're going to work a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in this very next single crochet. So yarn over the hook, insert into that next single crochet, and work a double crochet. You're going to chain 1. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same single crochet, and work a double crochet. Your double crochet V-stitch is made. We're going to make another double crochet V-stitch, and you're going to put it right in the center of this next V-stitch here in the chain 1 space. So yarn over the hook, insert into that chain 1 space of that V-stitch, and work a double crochet. Chain 1, yarn over the hook, insert it back into that same chain 1 space, and work a double crochet. Your V-stitch is made. We're going to work one more double crochet V-stitch in this next single crochet here. So yarn over the hook, insert into that next single crochet, and work a double crochet. You're going to chain 1, and we're going to work a double crochet into that same single crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same single crochet, and work a double crochet. So now you can see your corner here. We started the repeat with this first double crochet V-stitch, and we made 3 double crochet V-stitches, 1 in that single crochet, 1 in the center of that V-stitch, and 1 in that next single crochet. So now we're going to repeat this corner. We're going to work 1 triple V-stitch, chain 2, and 1 triple V-stitch, all in this next chain 1 space of this V-stitch, which forms our next corner. So yarn over the hook twice, once and twice, insert into that next chain 1 space, and work a triple crochet. You're going to chain 1. We're going to work 1 more triple crochet into the same space to form our V-stitch. Yarn over the hook twice, insert into that same space, and work a triple crochet. You're going to chain 2. Now we're going to work 1 more triple V-stitch into this space. Yarn over the hook twice, insert into that same chain 1 space of that V-stitch, and work a triple crochet. You're going to chain 1. Yarn over the hook twice, insert into that same space, and work a triple crochet. Your second triple V-stitch was made, and your corner is finished. So your triple V-stitch here finishes the top side of that block, your chain 2 forms the corner, and the next V-stitch starts you down the other side. So go ahead and start here where we started our first double crochet V-stitch and work over to your corner. You need to do that 2 more times around your block, and I will meet you at the end of round 5 and show you how to join. So I'm over at the end of round 5. I'm going to put my hand behind this so you can see it a little better with that white on white. And this is what your block should look like. You should have the 3 double crochet V-stitches between your corners. Let me turn it this way. So you have your corner of that triple V-stitch, chain 2, triple V-stitch, and then 3 double crochet V-stitches between, and then you started it all over and you ended with your corner of those 2 triple V-stitches with the chain 2 in between. So to join our round, we're just going to go up to that 3rd chain of that beginning chain 4. So count up 1, 2, 3, insert your hook into that 3rd chain and slip stitch. Yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook. Now I'm going to go ahead and fasten off my work. I'll be back with my frosty green and we'll do round 6. So for round 6, we're going to start in any corner chain 2 space. You can start in this corner chain 2 space, or if you come over here, you can see that the corner chain 2 space is right in the center. Just follow it up from a row below if you're not sure. Because we did those V-stitch, it might confuse you. So right in the center is our corner chain 2 spaces. So when you look at those corners, go 2, there's the space, and 2. Just follow that down and you'll see where the center is. So I'm just going to go over here where I joined, and I'm going to come over to the top right hand corner chain 2 space. I'm going to insert my hook. I'm going to grab my green here. And again, I'm going to leave about a 3 or 4 inch length, and I'm just going to pull my green through that space. We're going to start with a chain 4, and this chain 4 will count as our first double crochet plus a chain 1. So yarn over, pull through, that's 1, yarn over, pull through, that's 2, yarn over, pull through, that's 3, yarn over and pull through, that's 4. Again, the first 3 chain is your double crochet, and then this one will bend over and count as your chain 1. Now we're going to work a double crochet to finish our first V-stitch. Yarn over, insert into that same corner chain 2 space, and work that double crochet. You're going to chain 2 for your corner, 1 and 2, and then we're going to work another double crochet V-stitch in the same space of 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 double crochet. So yarn over the hook, insert into that same corner chain 2 space, and work a double crochet. You're going to chain 1, yarn over, insert into that same corner chain 2 space, and work a double crochet. And you just made your double crochet V-stitch. So you can see how you formed your corner, your V-stitch, your chain 2, and then your V-stitch. So then we're going to go ahead and work your double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in each of our chain 1 spaces across to our next corner chain 2. So you'll have a total of 5. So let's begin. So we're going to skip this next triple and we're going to work that double crochet V-stitch in this next chain 1 space. So yarn over, insert into that chain 1 space, and work your double crochet. You're going to chain 1, yarn over, insert into that same space, and work a double crochet. Now we're going to find our next chain 1 space. We skip this stitch, we skip the next stitch, and again we're only working in the chain 1 spaces and the corner chain 2 spaces in this round. So yarn over, insert into that next chain 1 space, and work a double crochet. You're going to chain 1, yarn over, insert into that same space, and work a double crochet. Find your next chain 1 space. It's here. You should have 2 stitches in between those chain 1 spaces. Yarn over, insert into that next chain 1 space, and work a double crochet. You're going to chain 1, yarn over, insert into that same space, and work a double crochet. Your V-stitch is made. We're going to make another V-stitch in this next chain 1 space. So yarn over, you're going to skip those 2 stitches, insert into that next chain 1 space, and work a double crochet. You're going to chain 1, yarn over, insert into that same space, and work a double crochet. We need to make 1 more double crochet V-stitch, so yarn over, skip those next 2 stitches, insert into that next chain 1 space, and work a double crochet. You're going to chain 1, yarn over, insert into that same space, and work a double crochet. Your V-stitch is made, and you can see that this is our repeat. We have a double crochet V-stitch, your chain 2 for the corner, and a double crochet V-stitch in your corner chain 2 space. Then we worked a double crochet V-stitch of a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in each chain 1 space across the top of that block. So go ahead and work from this point here, your corner. Again, you're going to do a double crochet V-stitch, chain 2, double crochet V-stitch into this next corner chain 2 space, and then you will work 1 double crochet V-stitch in each of the chain 1 spaces across the side of that block. You'll end up with 5 V-stitches across. You'll do your corner and repeat. I will meet you at the end of round 6 and show you how to join. So I'm over at the end of round 6, and this is what your block should look like. You have your double crochet V-stitch, chain 2, double crochet V-stitch, and then 5 double crochet V-stitches going across on each side. So now we're going to join, and we're going to just come up and count up to the 3rd chain of that beginning chain 4. So count up 1, 2, 3, insert into that 3rd chain, yarn over, pull through that chain, and pull through the loop on your hook. So I'm just going to fasten off. I'm going to grab my white, and we'll be back to start round 7. So we're getting ready to start round 7. So we're going to go up to our corner chain 2 space. So if you're not sure where that is, just go down to the big corner chain 2 and follow it up. There's your corner, here's your corner, and follow it right up to the middle. So insert your hook. And we're going to start with a chain 4. Now I leave about 3 or 4 inch length. I'm going to pull my white through, and I'm going to go ahead and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now this chain 4, the first 2 counts as that first half double crochet, and then the chain 2 will bend over and count as part of our V-stitch. So now we need to make a half double crochet into the same space. So yarn over, insert into that space, yarn over, pull it back through, yarn over, and pull it through 3 loops. You just made your first half double crochet V-stitch. So all we're going to do for this round is you're going to work a half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet in each of these chain spaces, each chain 1 and each chain 2 space around your work. So yarn over the hook, insert into that next chain space of that next V-stitch, and work a half double crochet. You're going to chain 2, yarn over, insert into that same space, and work a half double crochet. Your half double crochet V-stitch is made. Yarn over the hook, insert into that next chain 1 space, work a half double crochet, chain 2, yarn over, insert into that same chain 1 space, and work a half double crochet. It's just as simple as that. So go ahead and work 1/2 double crochet, chain 2, and a 1/2 double crochet in each chain space of each V-stitch around, and you're going to work just one V-stitch in that corner. So it's just one V-stitch in each chain 1 and each chain 2 space around, and only working one V-stitch in the corners. And I will meet you at the end of round 7. I'm over at the end of round 7, and this is what your work should look like. So we're just going to go up here and we're going to slip stitch into that second chain of that beginning chain 3. So count up 1, 2, insert your hook into that second chain, yarn over, pull through that chain, and pull through the loop on your hook. Round 7 is finished, and we're going to start round 8. Now with round 8, we're going to be working in alternating colors. Now this is wrong because this is one of the samples I was messing around with when I was working on this block, but the effect that we're going to do on round 8 is that we're going to be working double crochets, and when we work them we're going to be changing colors with every stitch, and I'll walk you through that. Now this is a wonderful effect for the block. So this is basically the pattern of what we're going to do, and again I'll walk you through that. So with this pattern, the best thing I can suggest is, if you're new to crocheting, because all these half double crochet V stitches are the same, instead of worrying about where your corner is, because you're already going to be trying to figure out how to change colors with every stitch, what you do is, the easiest way to know where your corner is before you start the round, just go down here to this corner. You can tell the corners because just come down 3 rounds to this big space here. Follow this corner. You know that's a corner, that's a corner. You can see your corner down here. Find that big corner, come up to the next one above it, and then this will be your corner. So go ahead and put a stitch marker in this corner. And the nice thing about doing this ahead of time is when you're working those stitches, you work right across. When you see that stitch marker, okay, that's my corner. I need to put 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Go ahead and find your next corner. It's here, follow it up. Put a stitch marker in that corner. I'm just going to tie it once. That way, if you only tie it once, you can just grab that piece of yarn and rip it right out of there with no problems. Add that yarn into that 3rd corner, and then your corners are marked. Now I didn't mark the first one because that's where we're going to start. And if you look at your block, that's the easiest way when doing this block, so you don't have to keep stopping and figuring out where your corner is. So we're going to go ahead, and I always like to start in the corner. I could start here, but again, I like starting in the corner, so I'm just going to slip stitch, insert my hook into that corner, chain 2 space, yarn over, and pull through that space. And I'm staying with the white. You're going to do that with the white. Since your white is already attached, we're going to start with the white. Now we're going to start our first double crochet. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. And the reason we chain 2 is because we're going to pull our new color through, and it'll take this white chain here and turn it into that 3rd chain, which should be white. So I'm grabbing my pink, and I'm just going to leave a 3 or 4 inch length. I'm going to hold my 2 strands of yarn together, and I did forget to mention we are working with 2 strands of yarn. We're going to carry them together across, but we're only going to be working with 1 strand at a time. So we're going to grab that pink, and you're going to pull it through that chain. And again, you can see this creates your 3rd chain to make that first double crochet stitch. So we need to start with 3 double crochet. So our first white double crochet is made from that chain 3. Now we're going to make our pink double crochet, our 2nd double crochet. Yarn over with the pink, insert it into that corner, chain 2 space, yarn over with the pink, pull it back through that corner, chain 2 space, yarn over with the pink, pull it through 2 loops only. Now when you get to the last 2 loops, you're going to grab the white and pull the white through those 2 loops. Now we need to make a white double crochet, and see how when you pull that new color through, that loop on your hook finishes the top of that stitch in the same color. So now we're going to work our white double crochet, yarn over, insert into that corner, chain 2 space, yarn over with white, pull through that corner, chain 2, yarn over with white, and pull through 2 loops on your hook. We're going to finish the stitch by yarning over with pink and pulling through 2 loops. So now we need to do our chain 2. So we pulled through with pink, but because we're doing chain stitches, now you're going to grab your white and pull through the pink. And that created our first chain in the pink, which would have been the next color. So now we have our white chain. We're just going to pull through with the pink, yarn over with the pink, and pull through that white chain. See how it created your next chain? So you have white, then you have your pink chain, your white chain, and your pink is the next color to start that next double crochet, which should be pink. So yarn over with the pink, insert into that corner, chain 2 space, yarn over with the pink, pull it back through that chain 2 space, yarn over with the pink, pull it back through 2 loops. You have your 2 loops remaining, yarn over with the white, pull through the 2 pink loops, and again you can see how your stitch finishes. The top is pink, the next stitch is ready to go with the white. Now when you're working these stitches and you're looking at your stitches and you see this pink one has a white top, then you need to rip that out and redo it because your colors won't be correct. So the color, the top of the stitch must match the actual stitch. So now we're getting ready to do our next stitch, which is white. Yarn over with the white, insert into that chain 2 space, yarn over with the white, pull it through the chain 2 space, yarn over with white, pull it through 2 loops only. Now we're getting ready to finish the stitch, so yarn over with the pink and pull it through 2 loops. Again, your white double crochet is finished, your pink is on your hook, and you're ready to do that 3rd stitch. So yarn over with the pink, insert into that corner, chain 2 space, yarn over with the pink, pull it back through that space, yarn over with the pink, pull it through 2 loops only, yarn over with the white, and pull through. You just finished your 3rd double crochet of that corner. You have your white loop on your hook. You can see your pink stitch is finished with the pink on top, and we're ready to start the next section of our stitches. So our corner is finished. So now for the pattern, if you want to work ahead, we're going to work 2 double crochet into the next V-stitch, 3 double crochet into the next, and we're just going to alternate 2 in the next, 3 in the next, 2 in the next, 3 in the next, and then we're going to end with 2 double crochet into that last V-stitch before our corner. So you're starting with 2 double crochet, you're ending with 2 double crochet. So let's begin. So I'll work a few stitches across just to help you a little bit more with changing colors. So we have the white on our hook. We're going to yarn over with white. We're going to insert it into that next V-stitch in the chain 2 space, yarn over with white, pull it back through that space, yarn over with white, pull it through 2 loops only. You're going to grab your pink, yarn over with pink, and pull it through the 2 white loops. Again, always watch your top of the stitch and make sure it's the same color. If it's not, rip it out and try again. So the first one, we're doing 2 stitches. We made 1, we need to do 1 more. So pink is on our hook, yarn over with pink, insert into that chain 2 space, the same chain 2 space, yarn over with pink, pull it back through that space, yarn over with pink, pull through 2 loops only, yarn over with white, and pull through those last 2 loops. And again, our top of our stitch is pink, and we have the white loop on our hook. So this one is finished. Now we're going to work 3 double crochet into our next V-stitch. So we have white on our hook, yarn over the hook with white, insert into that next chain 2 space, yarn over with white, pull it back through that space, yarn over with white, pull it through 2 loops only, yarn over with pink, and pull through the 2 white loops. Again, it finishes your stitch perfectly with that color, and your pink is ready for your next stitch. Yarn over with pink, insert it into that same chain 2 space, yarn over with pink, pull it back through that space, yarn over with pink, pull it through 2 loops only, yarn over with white, and pull it through those 2 pink loops. Your white is on your hook, your stitch is finished perfectly with the top matching the stitch, and we're ready to do our 3rd stitch. White is on our hook and the next color should be white. Yarn over the hook with white, insert it into that same chain 2 space, yarn over with white, pull it back through that space, yarn over with white, pull it through 2 loops only, yarn over with pink, and pull it through the 2 white loops. Our 3 double crochet are finished, so now we're going to work 2 double crochet into this next space, 3 in the next, 2 in the next, 3 in the next, and 2 in the next. So you can just click back on the video and you can follow along on how we change colors. The next color is pink, so you're going to put it in and work your pink first and then continue on. I will work across to my corner and I'll be right back. So I worked across the top of my block and I'm over here to my corner chain 2 space. So when you look at your block, you're going to make sure you have 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet into your corner. You're going to work 2 double crochet into the next chain 2 space, 3 into the next, 2 into the next, 3 into the next, 2 into the next, 3 into the next, and you're going to end with a 2 double crochet before your corner. So all you have to do is just click back on the video and you're going to just repeat this around your 3 sides. Now remember, this beginning chain 3 will be a double crochet over here. You have your pink loop on your hook, so you're going to start that first stitch in the corner with the pink. Now this corner will start with a pink where this one started with a white. So it doesn't matter, you just carry your colors, changing colors with each stitch. So go ahead and repeat that around, and I said if you need help, just click back on this video and just take your time and learn how to change colors with each stitch. It's, like I said, a little difficult if you're new to crocheting, but you'll get the hang of it and it really makes a really nice effect on your block. So I will work around my other 3 sides and I'll meet you in this last V-stitch here and show you how to join and finish our block. So I worked all the way around my block and I'm over at that last chain 2 space, and I need to work 1 more stitch. So we're going to end with a pink double crochet, which just comes out perfectly with our alternating our colors. So we're going to yarn over with the pink, insert into that chain 2 space, yarn over with the pink, pull back through that space, yarn over with the pink, pull through 2 loops only, and then we need to grab our white, yarn over with the white, pull through those 2 pink loops. That finishes our stitch, and then we're going to slip stitch with the white in through the top of this beginning chain 3 in order to slip stitch our block together. Insert into the top of that stitch, yarn over with white, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. So you can see how it ends your stitch perfectly by putting that loop on top. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fasten off. I'm going to yarn over and pull through. And then I'm just going to turn it on the back and I'm going to tie a double knot. Now you can fasten off in whatever manner you choose. I did see a video, I wish I would have wrote down the woman's name. she was doing an invisible join where she didn't join it in this way. Somehow you take a yarn needle and you come back through the stitch. I'm going to have to try to find it again and watch it because I really loved the way she did that. I wish I could give her credit, but there is a way to do an invisible joining seam where you just don't join it with a slip stitch. You join it with a yarn needle and pull the yarn through or something. But like I said, try to research that. You might really enjoy, you know, finishing your work with that invisible seam. So this is the block. So congratulations on making the Victorian Treasure block. I think it's a fun block, and I think that you can get extremely creative with this block. So if you decide to make this block, show me what you can do. Go ahead and post that photo on our Facebook group, Creative Grandma. If you're not a member, go ahead and join. And then you can show me how creative you can be. I think there's so many things you can do with this. If you do not like changing colors, try the variegated yarn in colors similar to what you use in the center. Use a solid color. Get creative. Let me see what you can do. Thanks everybody for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you don't miss any of the crochet fun. Happy crocheting, everyone!